What's going on, guys? Set4 here, and today I am back with another Carolina Panthers video. And today I'm going to be talking about why the Carolina Panthers should trade for T. Higgins, who is the current wide receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals, who has requested a trade this offseason after the season ended. Don't know why, because I guess because he's like a wide receiver 3, and maybe he wants to be like a wide receiver 1 or 2, or wants to get paid or play somewhere else. I don't know why, because like the Bengals are a decent place to play when you have Joe Burrow as your quarterback, but maybe there's some off the field issues that, or not off the field, but like negotiations that they tried to make with T. Higgins, and of course now they're tied in All-Pro Trey Hendrickson also wants to request. Oh no, he looks like a defensive lineman. Something like that. Yeah, he's a defensive lineman. He also wants to trade. So whatever reason, what's going on with the Bengals, who knows? But the Carolina Panthers should also try to trade for Brandon Ayuk from the San Francisco 49ers. So I'm going to go through the stats from T. Higgins and then the stats from Brandon Ayuk as well. Because the Carolina Panthers, as you guys know, don't really have a wide receiver 1, but they did in the offseason trade for Deontay Johnson, who is with the Steelers, who is a good route runner who gets open, who is now, I believe, the wide receiver 1 for the Panthers, which that was great from Dan Morgan and for Dave Canales, because Bryce Young desperately needs help on the offensive side. Adam Thielen is a good slot receiver, but he's not a like wide receiver 1 anymore. He's like maybe wide receiver 2 or 3, but he's still pretty decent. He gets the ball, but I feel like they still need a guy kind of like a tall receiver, a strong receiver, like DK Metcalf. I'm sorry, I'm like my mind is going blank. But yeah, we need a receiver kind of like DK Metcalf. We need a receiver like Tyler Lockett as well. Basically, kind of like being like the Seattle Seahawks right now with their really good receiving core. So they desperately need a tall receiver, and they need another. They need 2 receivers, in my opinion, that are good from the draft, or they could trade the 33rd round pick to get T. Higgins, or to maybe send another pick from the next year's draft to get T. Higgins. So let's go ahead and go through the PFF stats and see what they have had with T. Higgins. So T. Higgins had 74 targets, tied 55th in the league. Not bad. Receptions 42, tied 58th as like a wide receiver 3. Receiving yards pretty good, especially when you have Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd in the lineup as well. He had 656 receiving yards, which is 49th in the league. 5 touchdowns, tied 28th in the league. Not too bad at all. His overall grade was a 72.1, which is pretty freaking good, in my opinion, as a player. The only issues people will probably say with T. Higgins is I think he gets hurt sometimes. But in my opinion, if I had the option to trade that 33rd round pick, I know I don't like trading draft picks to players, but if he's available and he wants to go and there's a good negotiation deal, I would send that draft pick and maybe a few other draft picks to get T. Higgins. That would be a massive trade, in my opinion. And also, receiving grade, he has a 70.9. Really, really good, in my opinion. All right, receiving, like I said earlier, this was the stat lines. Receiving touchdowns, he had 6 drops last year. Yards per reception, 15.6. Look at that, 15.6 yards per reception, which Bryce Young desperately needs for a guy like that for next year. Yards after catch per reception, 5.6. Passing or passer rating when targeted, 103.2. Pretty good. And then there's nothing on rushing. And then also, I have another guy who is, I think, on the trading block rumors type of thing, is Brandon Ayuk, who is a wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers. He's also really good. I think he's like a Curtis Samuel type of player, as you guys guys know from what we used to run offense, kind of like a jet sweeps with Curtis Samuel. He's kind of like the similar type of receiver, like a slot back or like a running back slash wide receiver. Or like a hybrid receiver, if you put it like that. All right, so he had one of the craziest stats this year. He was impressive but he would probably cost a lot for draft picks. So I don't think the Carolina Panthers would give up a lot of stuff. But he had 101 targets, 31st in the league. He had 75 receptions, tied for 24th in the league, 1,342 receiving yards, which is really, really, really good. Brock Purdy, he had a good season, despite not the playoffs and the semifinals. But he had a good season. He did. They went to the Super Bowl, but they lost to the Chiefs and they choked it. So he had 7 touchdowns, pretty good. When you have Christian McCaffrey as well and Deebo Samuel in that lineup. So his overall grade was crazy, which was 92.3, receiving 92.3, pretty freaking good. So yeah, he yards per reception 17.9, yards per catch per reception 4.9, and then passing yard rating is 126.8. They don't really have anything for rushing. Oh, I guess it's just for receiving. But anyways, he's like a slot back or slot receiver. I think I'm probably not correct on that. But anyways, if I were the Carolina Panthers and I had the option to trade for any of these 2 receivers, I would definitely go for these 2 receivers because T. Higgins is a really, really good receiver. He's also 6'4", 220, and I think that would help Bryce Young because DJ Chark last year was absolutely terrible, and of course he got hurt all season long, and he basically wasn't that good he just didn't live up to the expectations last year. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. Should the Carolina Panthers trade for T. Higgins or Brandon Ayuk? Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. And I can't wait for the NFL draft. It's always fun. And tomorrow will be a little disappointing because Carolina Panthers should be the #1 draft pick. But David Tepper always likes to ruin everything and try to trade really early and give up a lot of draft picks because we don't have DJ Moore. And the Bears might actually be really good next year with DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and then DeAndre Swift. They got a solid core. Kudos to Ryan Poles. He's done an excellent job, but they got to win the games. I'm not too high on Caleb Williams, but I think he'll do well with the assets he have with that team. All right, guys, Seth 42 here. Comment down below. Keep pounding, and see you guys next time. Peace.